Okay, I'm going to have Anchitha online with us live on Instagram, and she is going to talk about her journey as well as self love. And I'm so excited to know about this concept. People have been confused with self care and self love, and I think today is the perfect day to get these differences in your mind very clearly by a psychologist. So I am going to just talk with Anchita about all of these things, and I hope you're going to enjoy this session with me. Stay live, stay connected, guys, and let's know the angle.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Did I join late?
No. It's perfectly fine. The thing is that I was not audible there. I told you something is happening outside, so this voice is like
Okay.
too much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
We are going to have so much of great time here today, and we are going to have so much of fun also. So I just want to know, can you just introduce yourself? Like people are really eager to know who is Anjita.
Sure. Well, hi everyone. And like you said, I'm Anchitha, and I'm a counseling psychologist, and am a mental health practitioner. I have been very passionate about psychology throughout, human nature throughout. I have done my undergrad in psychology and postgrad in psychology. So
Wow.
throughout, it's been a psychology journey. uh, very interested in mental health studies and especially women's mental health. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ongoing. The study of psychology, the curiosity, the commitment to the field is ongoing. And apart from psychology, what I like is I really like art. I do a lot of
Awesome.
painting, and I also like listening to music, and uh, I just interested in people and crowd. So I tend to be in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of shows that happen around Bangalore, like talk shows or any
Amazing.
other shows. Yeah. So that's a bit about me.
Awesome. Such a happening personality you are. I mean, you're like almost like a so happy soul person, like doing stuff. That is awesome. So basically, it's perfect to know about self-love from you. You would be giving such great knowledge about this. But before that, before moving to self-love, can you tell us about your journey? Like, why did you choose psychology and why this topic is more important to you today?
Yes, why did I choose psychology is when I was pursuing my undergrad, I saw the nuances of mental health. I saw, firstly, it comes from a point of curiosity, uh, the wide range of things that exist. Everything is under psychology and mental health because it is human,
Yeah.
and our world is run by humans. There are endless opportunities and know and learn. So, firstly, is its curiosity, and also I see how people are so aware about our physical health. Right, physical health is, you have a fractured bone, you directly go to doctor. So there is lot of
Yeah.
understanding of what physical health is, but there is very little understanding of mental health and very less awareness of it. So that's the reason
True.
to get into the field, build more awareness, destigmatize it, and also uh, curiously learn things is the main motivator for me to be a psychologist.
Yay. And how this self-love is more important to you today?
Self love is, it's a very interesting topic because especially in today's time, it is extremely capitalized, right? You can see self love on t-shirts, you can see self love
Yeah.
on every skincare product. It's a very
Yeah.
capitalized concept of psychology, firstly. And secondly, it needs more nuanced understanding. It's close to my heart because
Yeah.
somewhere there is a very capitalist idea of what self love can be. So to get a nuanced understanding of it, it's very important. And personally, why I like this, because this has helped me understand myself, understand who I am, understand my worth and value. So developing this has contributed for me in n number of ways. That's why it's a very close topic to my heart, and it's very important for people and myself. I'm not like epitome of self-love. It's a learning process for me as well. So it's an interesting topic for
Yeah.
me personally, and for people to understand what it is.
Yay, awesome. And I'm so excited to know this. People have been believing a different kind of self-love and self-care through this ads and through this products and their taglines or something like that. Okay, you can go to spa and give some self-care and something like that. It's totally different what it is actually, or it is told outside. So people have been believing on those stuff when it is clearly to be known from a psychologist who have been knowing human behavior more closely, and they have been also applying it on themselves, because it's as you said, it's a process, and it doesn't happen in a day or two. You just have to keep on going, and to the depth of it you will know what's the actual beauty of it, right? And I want to know this beauty all the way. Like, I have many more questions, and I hope you're going to have so much fun with this. Okay, so guys, I'm sure you are ready to know what self-love is, but let's see what Anchita has to say. So, what is self-love, Anchita?
Okay. So self-love, when when you're saying self-love in a very simplest form, it is the love that you show towards
Hmm.
yourself. Yeah, in a very simplest form, that is what it is. And if I have to more get into an example of what it is, now
Hmm.
if I ask you, imagine a person you love. It can be your parent, your partner, your pet, your sibling, anybody. What do you do to the person you love? Ideally, you respect them, care for
Yeah,
them, be there for them through their difficulties, be there for them through their mistakes and lows and highs, and
yeah,
also value them in your life. Put effort to build that relationship with them, right? That's what you do
yeah,
ideally to the person you love. And self love is similarly, that's the relationship with you have within yourself. It's you
yeah,
respecting yourself. The love you show to others, you show it to yourself, building and inculcating value of yourself,
hmm,
respect towards oneself, knowing that yes, I may commit mistake, but let me understand why I did that, forgive myself,
yeah.
and learning your values, putting effort in your own relationship with yourself is self love in a simpler form. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so does self-love, like if I say that I love myself so much, like in front of friends or someone, or like you know them, and you just say just like I just love myself, does it sound selfish? Like, is it selfish actually?
Okay. That there is also this construct can be seen as something as being selfish, self-obsessed, or narcissistic, right? And also, when
Yeah.
while you were telling that, it reminded me of Geet from Jab We Met Mein Apni Favorite.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So there can be there can be a very toxic understanding of self love too. It's very
Hmm.
important to differentiate what is self love and what is self centric, self obsessed behaviors. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Firstly, let's understand what is being selfish, what is being self centered mean, or narcissistic mean. So, when
Yeah.
you are being narcissistic or self centered, your view of yourself is just limited to you. It's you, yourself,
Yeah.
the things that you do, everything is, limited to you and the people around you. But
Yeah.
when it is self love, things are quite different. Yeah, you
Hmm.
empathize with others. You not only are focused on yourself and your values and your needs, but also you're mindful of others' values, needs, and what others do. So your
Yeah.
main element in self love is, yeah, I love myself, I love others and respect them as well. But when you're
Yeah.
self centric, when you're selfish, what happens is that you kind of you're condescending towards others, or you put yourself on pedestal and say, I am the best, others are not,
Yeah.
or you don't see anything uh, beyond you. Yeah, you don't see
Mm-hmm.
anything uh, beyond your needs and values. You don't tend to respect them. So that's the main
Yeah.
difference. And one more difference is that self-centric or narcissistic aspects are coming from the place of lack of self-esteem. You don't have enough self confidence, you
Yeah.
don't have enough self esteem within yourself, so you have to focus on yourself so excessively. Yeah, you have to put yourself on pedestal so excessively that you don't see anybody else.
Yeah.
But in self love, it is quite opposite. Your self esteem is not a shallow, it's not coming from an empty pot. In fact, the pot of self
Yeah.
love is you have a lot of value for yourself, and you also accommodate others. You don't need others to
Right.
kind of inflate you. Yeah.
Right. Such a big difference, man. I mean, there are people who would just directly would say on my face, like, okay, she's self-obsessed. That sounds so stupid and that is so selfish. Like, whatever I'm going to do, or it will always be in my favor, and I will always do it on the basis of my stuff. Like, I will not listen to anyone, and I'll not take anybody else in account to it. So it is totally wrong, guys. Uh, the specific difference she has already told. If you are always putting yourself on certain level and you're not going to take yourself a little lower than that and accommodating people also in your that same concept, it is going to be called as selfish. Otherwise, it's all self-love. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So when this thing actually affects, when there is a time when, for example, you and your family or your friends have been telling you to take a certain decision in your life, and which is not at all in your favor, and they're telling you like it is more better if you do it for us, but you have to do it all by yourself. So how does it affect over there? Like that time you have to remember like, okay, you are going to give your 100%,
Just a
but
minute.
for someone
Can you
else.
can you repeat that question? There is some breakage that's happening. I couldn't get the question.
Yeah. I'll repeat it. So when there is a time of decision taking, there are parents or maybe friends of yours who are telling you certain something to do, but it's not in your favor, it's in theirs favor, and you have to do it all by yourself and you have to give your 100% in that. At that time, how are you going to remember that you have your own self-respect and self-love to be considered at that moment and not also harming them? How are you going to settle that situation?
That's a interesting question, and also a very tricky place and a very complicated place for a person to be in. On one hand, you
Yeah,
love this person, they're your parents or they're your partner. You really uh, want to do things for them, but at the same
yeah,
time, you don't want to do it. It is not, the favor is not in your outcome. It is doing no
yeah,
good to you, yeah. But there is an expectation from the other end for you to do those things.
yeah.
So in these cases, it emotionally it can be a lot. There can be a lot of guilt. There can be a lot of shame. There can be a lot of fear. You can
Mhm.
experience a lot of anxiety because you are not able to communicate to the person that this is not something that I want to do. And
Yeah.
this in itself is coming from a place that um, I have to do things. It's important to take a step back
Mhm.
when this is happening and ask yourself a question that why am I feeling like doing this for a person when I absolutely have no benefit from it or is causing me
Yeah.
harm? Yeah, there are some
Yeah.
situations which may not benefit you, but it is not causing you any harm, so you don't mind doing it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
very simple example is that you are running late. You're running 15 minutes late to work, but your mom
Mhm.
says to go and get something. You will still accommodate it, or you may want to accommodate it because you know what, I can afford to be late to office by 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and I can do this
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, even though it may not be in your favor, the loss and the cost of
Mhm.
you going extra 5 minutes is not that of a big
Yeah.
deal for you. You can do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
important to analyze why am I doing this for the other person? Is it harming me,
Right.
or is it benefiting me, or is it neutral? It's not doing anything to me and I don't mind doing this. If it is benefiting you, go ahead and do it. If it is like neutral, fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost me anything, then go ahead and do it. But if you think it's
Hmm.
causing any kind of harm to you, it is not doing any good
Yeah.
to you, then it's good to pause and see from where is this urge coming? From where is this urge
Yeah.
coming to do this favor for a person? And ask
Hmm.
yourself that question: what is making me do this? What am I going to get? Am I going to get appreciation from that person for doing this? Am I going to get
Right.
validation from the person for doing this? Yeah. Am I going
Right.
to get, what am I going to get here from doing this? And if it is validation or some form of fear of getting rejected or being abandoned by that person, then you need to reevaluate what is the nature of relationship that you are having with that person. If that person is saying,
Yeah.
I'm going to abandon you if you're not going to do this, then it's very important to think that is that relationship, what is the nature of that relationship then? Where is the mutual
Hmm.
respect? Where is the empathy from that
Right.
person that, okay, it is harmful for you. Yeah. uh, Doing this may not be in your favor. What else can we do? Is there a way to
Hmm.
negotiate this? That is a way to
Yeah.
go about it. But if that person is not opening up for any of the other options, but is very stubborn about their request, then it's important to, you know,
Hmm.
evaluate your relationship with them. And if it is for validation, rejection, all the things that I mentioned, then it is very
Hmm.
significant that there is something lacking within you. Like you're trying to fill in that validation and love from the other person, right? It's
Yeah.
very
Right.
significant that there's a void in you that you're seeking from them, the other person.
Hmm.
Does that
My
make sense?
goodness, this is really deep. Like a lot of girls and women, more specifically females, I would say, like all in general, they have been entangled in such expectations where they have actually forgot what actually self-love is. And when they try to do it, there are people who would be like always standing up and say like, this is not what you are. Like, why are you have never stood up for yourself ever. So like, why now? So there is a limit for everything. And if that person is giving you, it's out of love, it's out of respect. And when you don't respect that or value that, one day that person is obviously going to realize that this is not benefiting that individual, and that individual is going to part ways or maybe take bigger decisions than that. So, the main concept is when you practice self-love, you need to let others also practice that self-love. You cannot expect from them whatever you like to do is supposed to be done by others. No, if you like it, you do it. You're not supposed to put it on somebody else for like little temporary happiness or something like that. That's
Yeah, yeah.
really, it was
It's
like
very
one of the
easy
best
because,
questions I could frame here.
sorry.
It was like one of the difficult questions to frame, but it was really interesting to know this part from you.
Yeah, yeah. And it is also very valid what you're saying. It's very difficult when you don't know who you are or respect yourself enough. It's very difficult to stand up, and it's very easy to blur your boundaries and walk into the other person's life and make their life yours. And when that happens, it's
Yeah,
very easy for the other person to keep asking favors, keep asking you to do things. And it's especially hard when it's with your loved ones, because those boundaries are always, kind of closed and enmeshed together. Yeah.
right, right. That's something really deep, yeah. And very much worth to know. Okay, so
Yeah.
can you tell me what are the benefits or importance of self-love?
Okay. It's there are there are so many benefits. Like, I don't
Yeah.
see, every individual needs to develop the aspect of self love, or as, needs to develop awareness about who they are as a person,
Mm-hmm.
develop that kindness towards oneself. It's very
Mm-hmm.
important because um, without this, you don't know who you are exactly, right? Without this,
True.
you don't know what is that you need, what is that you want, what is that is good
Mm-hmm.
for you, what is that is not good for you. Your whole identity is formed based on the aspect of your worth. Yeah. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important to have this because it influences every area of your life. If we take
Right.
example work, yeah, we take work and we end up accepting the jobs that may be underpaying and making us overwork because we don't
Yeah.
know enough value that our work, our efforts, our knowledge, intelligence is worth something. When we don't know
Yeah.
that, we end up accepting things that are at a least level.
Yeah.
So it can
Right.
impact
Right.
your work, it can impact your relationship. Same goes with relationships. You tend to,
Yeah.
especially when we speak about romantic relationships or partnerships, you tend to not have an idea of who is that you want, what is the kind of
Yeah.
person that you want and you deserve, and you who can value you the way you value yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you can end up in a relationship that can get manipulative, who can take advantage, who can kind of be disrespectful towards you, or can end up with a person who is extremely self-absorbed and is not mindful of your needs. So
Yeah.
it can, if it can impact your family, yeah, the way you interact with your family members. So it is very important to have a stable life across family, relationship, work, and also not only that, not only external things, also more content and satisfaction, right? You're not, if
Yeah.
imagine a mind that's not constantly questioning, am I doing right, am I okay, am I a good person, am I good enough,
Mm-hmm.
am I a bad person? Imagine a mind that doesn't constantly poke you with these painful questions. The amount of
Yeah.
satisfaction, the amount of just content and peace in the life that you may have without having these constant probing questions from your mind is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so not only externally you will benefit, but also internally you will develop a lot of kindness towards yourself, and also understanding that we are humans, we do mistake, right? We do commit mistake,
Obviously.
and if you value yourself enough, then you're able to hold yourself with this kindness, that you're not very judgmental and critical of yourself. Oh my god,
Yeah.
how can you commit this mistake, you're such a horrible person. It's not so intense. It's, you will be able to say that, yeah, I
Yeah.
committed a mistake, let's see why this mistake happened, let's try to analyze
Mm-hmm.
it, and then we can do it differently. So you can have good compassion towards yourself, you can have
Yeah.
good relationships and all other areas, and also you will have better boundaries in life. You know when to say no.
Ah, that is
It's
much
so
needed. Oh
important.
shit.
Yeah, you can just say
That's what
no.
yeah, the thing is, we lack somewhere there. We always are totally open for anything that comes. So we are like, okay, whatever comes, we are going to just handle it. But first, did you set your boundaries before entering into some other world that you have never ever imagined how it's going to be like? And when we don't set our boundaries, we fall into some place which is very hard to get out of. And also, even if you don't say anything to that person directly, or maybe those people directly, they would take you, they will literally take you wrong. They will say, like, she's selfish and she is doing it for her happiness and for her peace, which is like, anyhow, it is like toxic for them. They are going to take you in a wrong way. But you did a good job. Somehow you took a step out of something really toxic. So, friends, if you are into something like this, just get out of there. Don't have any fear. Just have some self-love and don't say that you're selfish. If you love someone and you want to give all of that, just give. But don't fall into somewhere where it is not good for you. So just respect yourself. That's what is supposed to be done. Okay, so the main question comes here is people have been also asking me, like few of my friends and nearby people, they ask me like, is self-care and self-love almost same or are they different? And what are those activities to express to ourselves? Like, okay, this is self-care and this is self-love. Can you say something on that?
Sure, yeah. So it can easily be confused, especially these days. Self-care is a
Yeah.
very buzzword, right? So it can easily be
Mm-hmm.
confused between self-care and self-love. Self-love is like, it may be a very boring example, but self-love, imagine, let's take a very boring dish, aloo ki sabzi. Self-love is like aloo ki sabzi, but there are
Okay.
different ingredients you make aloo sabzi with,
Mm-hmm.
right? Aloo sabzi
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
just exist. You add
yeah.
ingredients to it. So, to for self-love, there are different ingredients that add up to become self-love, and self-care is one of the ingredients that leads to self-love. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. It's just a part of it. It's nothing.
yeah.
Okay,
It's yeah.
correct.
To make a sabzi, you need to add jeera, mustard, spices, etc., and then it becomes a sabzi. So similarly, for
Yeah.
you to develop self-love, you need to have self-awareness about who you are, self-care. You need to have self-compassion and kindness. So all the ingredients become self-love. So
Yeah.
care is one of the key ingredient that leads to love for yourself. And it is also vice versa. When you love yourself enough, respect yourself, value yourself enough, you're going to take care of yourself. it is it is
Yeah, right.
it is like a byproduct. It's like you
Yeah.
love someone, and of course you're going to take care of them, right? So ideally you
Yeah.
take care of them. So when you love yourself, you're going to take care of yourself through various ways. And it can be
Yeah.
physical exercise, it can be eating healthy, getting good sleep,
Mm-hmm.
setting good boundaries with people, taking care of your
Mm-hmm.
mental health, and even skincare routines, going to a spa, hanging out with your friends, doing
Yeah.
activities that you like. All these are
Yeah.
self care, but they don't. Just because you're doing all this doesn't mean that you have immense cordal of self-love.
Mm,
So
okay.
that you can do all of these things and yet you can go to a spa and yet hate yourself out of the guts. So
Yeah.
each one
So at the end
doesn't.
of the day, there are some people who would just say like, I have been like caring myself so much, but still I don't like my hair, I don't like my skin, I don't like my body shape. They just bully themselves looking in front of the mirror and saying all of these things. So how does it matter then if you're caring yourself so much, like taking to the spas and doing all of these activities, but anyhow you're just hating yourself after everything is done? So, how do we need to practice this self-love? What is actual self-love? What are the activities are supposed to be done?
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. People do say that I am doing so many things, I'm taking care of myself, yet,
Yeah,
I don't like the way I look, I don't like my hair, I don't like my body.
yeah,
I go to gym, that is self-care. So that's a place for you to pause and ask, why is that you're going to gym? Are you going to gym because you want to feel good, you want a rush of hormones, you want to feel good and also manage strength, stamina, and also
yeah,
a fit body for you to track, do things? Or
yeah.
do you want to become thin for your boyfriend? Do you want to become thin for your family? Do you want to become thin for your society? Why is that you're doing all these caring activities?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you doing that for yourself, for your own benefit, or are you doing this for someone else? You are doing a ton of skincare routines, but
Yeah.
are you trying to look fair because society says you're beautiful only if you're fair? Or are you actually liking the
Mm-hmm.
process? I personally enjoy the process of, applying things to my face, just, pampering, because I like the
Yeah.
process of it. So it's important to draw that line, and uh, these things also come when you are saying I want to look good because
Mm-hmm.
my parents say so. Then you don't have your own identity. You're constantly
Yeah. Yeah.
taking things that people are telling. Yeah,
Yeah.
which means you don't have enough awareness about yourself, you don't know who you
Right.
are, and you're constantly taking in validation from others. And that leads to the
Yeah.
cycle. you don't have enough validation for yourself, you seek from others, you try to change, and
Correct.
ultimately you don't respect yourself and your needs. Yeah.
Awesome. First and foremost is if you really want to know this main concept of self-love, you just have to declutter your mind. Your mind has been taking a lot of stuff which is been put out there, but the reality of it is completely different, whatever people say is. So, self-love is something that comes from within. And second, the thing is that when you ask if whatever you're doing it, is it for yourself or is it for somebody else, right? So when there is a somebody else in this is not self-love. And if you really don't like to go to gym, you can have other ways to look more better in shape and you have more options to love yourself more. But if there is a person who is constantly telling you to go to gym and get yourself in shape, and when you look at yourself and say like I'm doing it for good and for my good, but there is a person behind taking the credits for everything, that is not going to like keep you happy ever. You are just like, okay, I did for someone, and that person values or doesn't value, that's a different concept. But you have done for somebody else and not you. गाइज ये सारी चीजें करो तुमको पसंद है तो एक्टिविटीज बहुत सारी है बट सेल्फ लव इज कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट सेल्फ लव इज अगर तुमको खुद का स्किन पसंद है हेयर पसंद है द वे यू लुक द वे यू ड्रेस अप योर सेल्फ द वे यू वॉक कॉन्फिडेंटली एंड द वे यू स्पीक टू अदर्स एंड यू लव द वे यू आर इज द ओनली सेल्फ लव तो ये सारी एक्टिविटीज बाद में आएगी पहले appreciate you of what you are and whatever you have become after these so many years that you have been trying to reach somewhere in your life. That's it.
Also,
That
the
is self-love,
acceptance.
guys.
Yeah, the
Acceptance.
acceptance.
Yeah, like,
This is how my hair looks. This is what
yeah,
it is. Yeah.
it is like
This
that.
is
So
how
a
my
lot of my
body looks.
friends, they have been asking me like, why do you cut off your hair more often? Why don't you understand you need to grow them and you need to groom them? It's like, dude, you won't understand. This is how I like to keep. And this is my texture of my hair. I know how to handle them and how to keep them this beautiful. So that's self-love. And there are people who would say like, no, you need to do some hair treatment, make it straight, or do something like this. Like, come on, yaar, you do it. If you like it, you do it. Don't tell me to do those things. I won't love to damage my hair in any way. So this is just one example. There are people who are body shaming. They are also talking about skin color. They're talking about, okay, first the commercials, okay, the beauty products, the creams and everything. This industry has been telling us, okay, apply cream, you'll be fair because fair is more beautiful. Fair is the definition of beautiful. It's like there is no such thing first. It's just get out of that and come to the reality. Love yourself, hug yourself at least once time in a day. Hugging yourself will let you know like whatever is already on you and with you. Amazing. Okay. So what actually happens if I don't have self-love?
Um, while we were discussing the importance of self-love, I had mentioned few things, right? So when we don't have, exactly the opposite of it is going to happen. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
be in a workplace probably that does not benefit you anymore, is not good for your professional growth, nor for your personal life, because you think this is what I deserve. You're going to put up with a workplace that's not
Mm-hmm.
respecting you, your efforts. So it is going to impact your professional growth. And also, it can be even in the relationships. You're going to put up with someone and also be in a
Mm-hmm.
toxic relationships or abusive patterns because you think this is what you deserve. And you, when you put up with those nature of relationships, you miss out on all the
Mm-hmm.
wonderful secure relationships that you can get, healthy
Mm-hmm.
nourishing relationships that you can get. You miss out on those things. And you, when it's with your family, you also tend to miss
Mm-hmm.
out on that separating yourself from family and saying that this is family, this is me, I love them, but at the same time, I can have my own beliefs, values that is separate from them. If you don't
Yeah.
have that, there is very much possibility that you can get stuck in your family values, parents' belief, and you may never be able to get out of that place and form your own identity and take up what is that you want. So it
Right.
can hinder externally a lot of your growth, and at the same time, internally, it, like I said, it can lead to a lot of anxiety disorder, it can lead to n number of mental illness, and it can also,
Right.
the end result is the mental illness, but even before that it
Mm-hmm.
can lead to a lot of dissatisfaction with everything, dissatisfaction with your own self, dissatisfaction with the things that you do. So even the general mental health also gets
Mm-hmm.
impacted in the process.
See, whatever we do, it's our mind. Okay. So we process through our mind whatever we are before, we are today. Okay. And along the way, we have been learning a lot of things. Okay. So basically, when from the beginning we have been told wrong things to practice, we are obviously going to define ourselves in the same way at present because we have been practicing that from so long now. So how do we actually need to practice and develop this self-love?
Yeah, can you come back on that question? There was a lot of breaking of voice and
How do we need to
I'm stuck.
practice and develop self-love?
Okay, how do we need to practice? Yeah. So the the kind of society that we live in, there is no scope for it. Like you were saying, we are born with a lot of potential, but lot of things over the time hinders who we are. So it is
Yeah.
very
Hmm.
possible that we are very unaware of ourselves. So first step to it is to develop awareness about your own self.
Yeah.
And to break it down, what does this self awareness mean? It means being aware of your own thoughts, being aware of your own feelings, your actions, and what is that you're doing. Yeah, take a step back and
Yeah.
pause and reflect on what are the kind of thoughts you're having throughout the day. What is the nature of the thought? What is the tone of that thought? And
Yeah.
does that tone of the thought resemble someone? Is it like your parent or mom telling, "Oh, you're so bad at it. Why can't you be better?"
Oh,
Yeah. Observe the tone
oh
of
my
the
God.
thoughts that you get. The the quality of it. What are the things that you are telling to yourself? So be mindful of your own thoughts, and once you're being mindful of your own thoughts, then observe your own feelings. Ima- uh, Try to assess what are these thoughts doing to you. How are you feeling? Yeah, when you tell
Hmm.
yourself in a particular tone that you're, how can you commit this horrible mistake? You're such a bad person. Imagine what
Yeah.
kind of emotion it's bringing in you. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling
Hmm.
disappointed? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling anxious? Just
Hmm.
assess how it makes you feel, a particular thought. Then when you feel a particular way, then try to understand what are you doing. Now you, this thought is making you feel angry. What are you doing when you're angry? Are you throwing your phone? Are you throwing your
Oh.
wallpapers and TV? Are you breaking things? Or are you going and yelling at someone? Are you yelling at your boss? Or are you a person just going to put a blanket and cover oneself, not get out of the bed? Or what is
Hmm.
that you're doing? What is that your action? So be
Yeah.
mindful of all this to develop self awareness, and also be mindful of your own behaviors. It need not be always thought, feelings, and behaviors. It can be you
Yeah.
just, slammed the door and walked out of your boss's office. Just pause and try to
Yeah.
understand why it happened. Why did you do that
Hmm.
for yourself? And also try to hold yourself with compassion. I think when when we talk about self love or developing awareness about oneself, a lot of things can come up, that, oh shit, I'm like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I do. This is how I feel. it is very important to develop another ingredient, like I was telling before, another mustard or jeera to self-love is
Yeah.
self-compassion. Being kinder to
Okay.
yourself, not judging yourself, not being a critique. We grew up in a society and in a family that is
Yeah.
usually critical of us, right? Our parents um,
Yeah.
push us, motivate us through criticism. But unfortunately, that's not how our brain works. Our brain is
Right.
wired differently. It doesn't do well with criticism. So, you unlearning those patterns and developing a
Mm-hmm.
sense of less judgment towards your own self, holding yourself accountable. Yeah, accountability is important. Yes, I did that mistake. It was
Mm-hmm.
not okay on my part, but at the same time, it's okay. I'm a human. Everyone does this. They commit mistake. What can I do
Yeah.
differently? Developing that is very important. And also self care, like I said, there can be different types of self care that you can inculcate in your
Okay.
routine. Firstly, there can be physical self care like eating, sleeping, uh,
Mm-hmm.
getting good workout to your body, or being in
Yeah.
nature, walking, those things. And even practical things like getting your doctor's appointment, taking care of your
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
physical body and physical health, getting checkups,
Yeah.
etc. And doing social self care, being around people and friends that are good for you, uh,
Yeah.
recognizing that, oh, I have a social hunger now, I need to go meet my people now, and being around,
Yeah.
so taking care of your social behaviors and social well-being, and also your emotional well-being, like simple things like journaling, starting your routine with day with journaling, or ending it with journaling. Um,
Yeah.
Also listening to music, or going for a dance, um, or some people like to meditate if they can, doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing in a lot of different aspects of self-care also can lead to self-love. That is also one of the ways. Yeah.
So what is your routine to do with self-love or self-care practice? What is your routine?
Yes, my routine is, as I'm as I'm in this profession, as I'm into therapy, I also tend to get. I also need to be very mindful of my emotional cup. I need to be mindful of when I'm feeling drained, when my emotional cup is getting empty, when I'm feeling a
Yeah.
lot of lack of empathy or lack of compassion. I need to be mindful of it and do things accordingly. I'll just tell you how my day looks like and what are the things that I
Yeah.
include in a day that can be attributed as self
Yeah.
care and attributed towards self love. So I do start my day. I like to take my beginning early of the day slow. So I start my day with um, good warm water and journaling things. It's called morning pages. I just go on writing free association. Just go on writing any unrelated topics that keep coming to mind. That helps me
Amazing.
ground. That really helps me put out everything in one paper, and it is in one paper
Mm-hmm.
now. And after that, I do go to gym and work out, or any form of even walking helps me. So doing
Yeah.
those things, and I really like being in nature. When I say in nature, I don't have to go take a trip every now and then. I live in Bangalore, so there are a lot of trees and
Yeah.
parks around me, so I tend to go and keep my feet without slippers on the grass, which really again grounds me.
Yeah.
And then slowly I start my day, and I end my day with good cup of chai by myself, without anybody around,
Mm.
and also watch a favorite show or some boring show over, and just something that doesn't take a lot of my brain work. I tend
Yeah.
to do that. And also I tend to inculcate painting. Painting is extremely soothing for me, so I tend to
Wow.
paint things. Just the stroke of paints is extremely soothing. I tend to
Do
do
you
that.
have something right now so that we can see?
I don't have I usually, no, unfortunately, I didn't keep anything right here.
Oh, please do send me pictures though. I would love to see.
Yes, definitely, I'll do that. Yeah. And also, not only just taking care of myself, my emotional health, I can't do it all alone. I go to therapy myself to
Yeah.
understand and work on my own issues, own personal development. That is also a form of self-care, love for me. And also setting
Hmm.
good boundaries with people and at work. Just having a framework that I'm starting my day at this time and ending my work at this time is also a form of
Yeah.
boundary, and I tend to respect that. Um, and including my friends, uh, who I share a lot of relatability and love with. I tend to spend weekends with them. So it's
Hmm.
important to be mindful of different things and recharge the cup. Oh, I'm emotionally feeling drained. Then I need more emotional connection, love, affection, hugs. Then
Yeah.
get that. And socially, I'm feeling very low. Then recharge yourself socially. If you're feeling socially overwhelmed, oh, too much, I'm drained, then tend to be by yourself. And
Right.
also inculcate small activities in your day that kind of grounds you. Yeah.
Amazing. Such a beautiful routine, yeah. I mean, walking on the grass is the one thing that I would always go for, like any time of the day. Let's just take me to this area where there is a lot of good grass. I would just sit there all day because it calms me totally. This is that one activity I would take from you. So if I get a chance anywhere, like not nearby my home, there is nothing such like that. But if I would get a chance, I would do it more often. So thanks so much. And it's really an amazing routine. I just loved it. Okay, there's this one question. Like we are talking about this like from an hour now, like about self-love. Why actually there is a need of telling this concept to people or making aware about this concept to people? Like, okay, this is such a simple thing. Like first you need to love yourself and then you can do this to some others. But first keep to yourself on the list. Why there is a need of telling this thing? I don't understand.
Yeah, it seems so simple, right? It seems so simple, like, you know what? You have to
Yeah.
love yourself first. You have to respect yourself first. It seems so basic. Respect yourself, value yourself.
Yeah.
It seems so basic, but it's definitely
Yeah.
not so easy. And why it's such a, even though it's so popular, it's such a difficult concept to inculcate in oneself is because
Hmm.
we live constantly. Firstly, let me talk about um, our system in itself. We live in a system where
Yeah.
focusing on mental health doesn't happen, right? It's not a system thing. How there are public health hospitals, there are government hospitals, there is no focus much on a mental health sector in itself. So it's very easy for people
Yeah.
to not understand the importance of taking care of themselves, their emotional health, their mental health. So, firstly, it starts
Hmm.
there at a system level. Then, at a society level as well, we are constantly, there are a lot of factors like capitalism, a lot of things are at an interplay which constantly tells you are not good enough. There are ads that say your
Yeah.
hair is not good, your skin is not good, your weight is not good, you need to do better. And there are also cultural aspects like you're not girly enough, you're not manly enough, you're not, there are
Yeah.
constantly places. Yeah, we as a culture also
What
have
is that
certain
actually?
standards.
It is
We
not
society,
needed.
yeah, we as a society has certain standards which we have to constantly meet. That's why it's very difficult to develop a sense of self and love for oneself because we are constantly banged with information that has to be someone else. You're not good enough. You're not. This is a message we constantly receive. So it's very hard to stand on
Yeah,
your
and
ground and
that
say,
that concentration is going towards something negative, like something which you are not. So what do we do is we spend money, we do all of these expenses into that kind of clothing, that kind of hair product, that kind of styling or something like that. And we lose ourselves at some point. and we don't know what is your authentic self, what is your original version of you, and you don't even often talk to that person anymore. So guys, first of all, talking to yourself is not a stupid thing or not to be laughed at. This is the main concept where the communication is needed within yourself. Unless that wire is connected to your brain and heart, that is not going to be connected to any other person to you to whom you are talking right now. Okay. Anyhow, the things that you have in your mind, you're going to put it all wrong outside. People are not going to understand your intentions because you don't know what are your intentions in your mind itself. Guys, first of all, she said about being mindful about certain things. It's just like you need to be calm at one place, sit and think. Thinking is more needed, and talking to yourself is one of the best things that you would do to know yourself better. And that is the first step I think you should take when there is a need of self-care and self-love in your life. So self-love includes talking to yourself and keeping yourself smiling with all of the conversations that you have with you, right? So, I know it's a easy concept, but just because of the external powers and the system that you talked about, it has put a lot of that kind of impact where people have been busy in correcting themselves externally and not putting that kind of impact or that attention internally. And so just guys, practice some mindfulness thinking or maybe meditation would be really great if you can start with. And okay, it takes time. People say it's stupid. Some people also laugh on this concept, but that is only going to help you guys. Just that's the initial step. I hope I said right, Anchita.
Sorry, can you repeat that last line?
I hope I said right about self-talk and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to develop a self-talk is definitely a big thing, right? It's the way we talk to ourselves. So it's very important to change the relation if in case, like I said, being mindful of the nature. So changing the nature of the talk that you have with yourself from judgment to
Mhm.
kindness is important. Being also mindful of various things, not only thoughts and talking, but also of your body, respecting your body because
Yeah.
there are so many systems from outside telling you how to be. You need to focus. How to bring the focus on yourself is through your body, respecting it and seeing, oh, I'm tired, maybe I need to take break from work and not to work anymore. I'm feeling very exhausted, or I'm
Yeah.
feeling a lot of thumping in my chest or a lot of pain in my gut. Then
Hmm.
respecting and doing things that your body is asking for also becomes very important. Being mindful of your body, and it can happen through meditation, it can happen through just being by your body. It can happen through various things like that.
Wow, that's great. So we have come to this end of the session. Like end is like I don't like to end the session though. This is the one of my favorite topic to talk on. And I have just recently started self-talk kind of a thing. So a stage has come that where if I have to go somewhere and I have to present myself, I have to talk to myself first. That, okay, it is possible for me. I can do it, and I'm very much good at it. And it's like, okay, I can finally do it. And that has helping me so much, and it can help you in so many different ways, and it comes out very beautifully. I am sure about that. So self-love, I'm so thankful to you, Anjita, for giving such amazing concept in a very beautiful and so normal way. Like very easy in language, there is no specific definition to it, but there is that kind of definition which starts within you. So you just have to be aware of what you're doing and what you are and accept yourself the way you are. No need to change for anybody or no need to change as because it is being said in the society or maybe in the advertisement or in the entertainment industry. You cannot be that. You just be yourself. Okay, so I just want to ask you, what message you would love to give to the viewers today?
I think you have beautifully summarized a lot of things that we spoke about just now. And what message I would like to give is that um, try to kind of be mindful of yourself and your needs and your wants, and also be respectful of others' needs, others' wants, and what uh, others as humans are. And also try to develop these small activities, small routines for yourself that can lead to
Yeah.
self love, and also put efforts in developing awareness about your own self in different areas. These are some of the important things which can in turn lead to a lot of self confidence and esteem boost.
Awesome. That is so amazing, so beautifully said. Okay, so this is one of the last things I always ask to every guest who comes on the show and talk about their journeys. I just want to have a feedback from you so that I could work better in the show that I started, that is the Legit Talks. I just need a feedback.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing. You as a host is so calm and grounded, is so directional, is has very specific questions. So I think you as a host in itself, I really like the way you carry out things. And at the same time, I you have a diverse topics. You have topics and talks about
Yeah.
so many things. It's extremely diverse and informational in nature, and it's not limited to just one or few areas. I really like the diversity of it, and I think you need to this talk needs to be kept up, and people need to bring in more knowledge and their own fields into this and spread that. And that's my feedback.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll keep going and I'll keep learning. The thing is, I have always been interested in psychology and somehow I couldn't expose myself into such kind of thing like okay now, but I'm getting through the show a lot of other fields where I can just like okay, wow, this is something amazing. I have never heard about this. And you did the same thing on the topic of self-love. I'm so thankful for this. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for coming and accepting my request on this and sharing your journey and also talking about your routine. There are people who would not tell about their routine, okay? You told a lot of good things, and guys, please practice all of those things that she said. It is really going to help you, and you are going to see yourself something on a very good level. Wherever you are today, just be yourself and not be someone else or live somebody else's life. It's it's not self-love. So just keep that in your mind. Thank you so much, Anchita, for this. And I hope we get you next time on the show. It'll be some other topic
Definitely.
or maybe some questionnaire from all of these friends of mine or maybe the followers of the show. So we can have that. Will you be able to give some time for the same?
Sure, definitely, definitely. And
Awesome.
thank you for inviting me to the show as well.
Thank you so much for coming, Anchita. See you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for being there. And it was really an amazing thing to talk about. That is self-love. There is a lot of such things that we don't talk about, and we feel that maybe it sounds selfish. Thinking about yourself, thinking about your needs and your happiness, it's not selfish. And there are people around you, there is a big society around us all the time, making us remind that this is selfish, but no. Clear off your minds, do some mindful thinking, as Anchita said, and see your life changing very beautifully, guys. Thank you so much for being there again. I'm going to come next time with amazing another story, with amazing another guest, and we'll have so much fun on the show, and you'll just love the story. See you next time, guys. Bye. Namaste.